We are officially live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome back to the Strong Style Syndicate, your New Japan Pro Wrestling post show team here on the network. Of course, my name is Mikey, El Jefe of BC WrestlePod. I am on location, not really, but uh, I am somewhere else, and you are going to see me in the same position over the next couple of days as I am taking care of somebody's house while they are away. But I am joined this evening by my lovely friendo, Mr. Benny DeBear, who I'm happy to have. There's a lot of New Japan stuff that broke over the last 24 hours, so it's just like there's a lot to discuss.
Indeed, there is, my friend. Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. And Mikey, let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. So I'm not even going to go to the intro bit, but I am going to tell you how this is going to go down this evening. We are here to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling's latest show with a big one, Dominion. And so we're going to talk about all the stuff that has happened here. We had lots of title changes, which I was not expecting the amount of title changes that we had on the show and the implications that it does lead us into the G1 coming up here shortly in July. But the way that this is going to work tonight is we're going to talk about Dominion. Then we're going to go over the G1 because they also announced the participants and the blocks. And then I'm also going to preview because we have a lot of New Japan crossover across all the other shows this upcoming week from CMLL. We got Global Wars coming up soon. We have Forbidden Door. Like, there's a lot to discuss. And so we got to get through this in a timely manner because on top of all that, Benny and I got to hop a charter flight from Japan to the UK for our next show in about an hour and a half. It's a busy time.
Indeed, it is. A charter flight, huh? You think they'll have Diet Coke?
You know what? I'm sure they will. But we got to make it in a timely manner. So let's get into this. So, again, we are talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion, which took place Sunday, June 14th in Osaka-jo Hall, which is a really lovely venue. First of all, shout out to the stage design because those lights above the entrance ramp, I was like, yes, production. We love to see that.
Yeah, Osaka-jo Hall is always one of my favorites. Like, of course, it's like, it's like, Tokyo Dome, Osaka-jo Hall, and Ryogoku. Always great.
Those are some of my favorite venues too when we're not in the big old Tokyo Dome. But we are in Osaka-jo Hall for Dominion, so let's just jump straight into it. Chat. Also, I'm going to say this every single time we do New Japan. Thank you, New Japan, for putting your card in order ahead of time. So it makes my job easier to put slides together. But let's get into it. So in our opening contest for Dominion 2026, of course, we have our New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have our NJPW television title match. So this is, of course, the champion Konosuke Takeshita taking on a returning Sanada. And first and foremost, Benny, we gotta talk about this entrance from Sanada. Like, and first of all, I was just like, we got a whole history and the different championships that Sonata has won. And while I was watching this entrance, I'm like, I have forgotten how decorated Sonata actually is in this company.
Seriously. That was a whole lot of belts. Like, and apparently Sonata said, the challenge is dance or die.
Then okay, let's talk about this outfit though, because this outfit was a key. It was everything.
Man.
The red hair, yes. Wait, hold on. There we go. I gotta remember where my camera is for this one, but Sonata always finds a way to reinvent himself like every 2 or 3 years since his company. Like he always reinvents his character, and I'm really here for this red look and this fashionista red. Yes, Sonata, yes. Never change. Anywho, so of course the Sonata entrance is great. Takeshita enters in, and I really enjoyed this match. I'm a little, I don't want to say bummed. Bum is not the word, but I'm like, this was such a grand resurgence, the return, not resurgence. This was a grand return for Sonata, debuting his reinvented character. And spoiler alert, to have Takeshita beat him in this match, I was like, that's kind of a bummer. But you know what? I get it. And Sonata's going, this character is gonna find success, and he'll probably end up with some sort of gold with by the end of the year. I'm not even gonna lie. But no, this was a fun match, and I think Sonata Takeshita being able to fight somebody like Sonata too is also really great for his wrestling resume. This was a fun opening match, of course. As for the television, we have a 15-minute rule timer thing, and I really enjoyed this match with Takeshita retaining over Sonata. Benny, how did you feel about our television championship opening up the show?
This was a great match. I just want to call out a few spots here. Um, Takesha doing the modified tombstone that he does into a blue thunder bomb was insane, right? Like, and I love Sonata because early in his career he was like he had a gimmick as the Great Sonata, so it was sort of a rip off of or a spin off of the Great Muta. So a lot of Sonata's moveset in this match was of Muta, right? Like we got this a Shining Wizard, we got the moonsault press. All we were missing was the rolling elbow. But I digress. This was a really great match, and like I really love the fact that like he was pulling out all the gimmicks, and the ref was just like, yeah, fine, whatever, I don't care, you know. Like he even pulled out the Young Bucks cold spray at one point, like that one for the if you know you know kind of thing, and of course he pulls out the guitar and the article that had come out or the interview that he did early in the week revealing why he's been using the guitar because he has like a degenerative disease in his whatever. But um, this was all great, man. Like they say that if you don't go away, how can I miss you? That was the thing with Sonata, right? Like he had to go away for me to miss him, and I missed him. So glad I'm back.
I'm glad that Sonata is back too. He just needs some time away, and he reinvented himself, and we love to see it. But again, Sonata losing is kind of a bummer after debuting this new incarnation of him. But he's in the G1, so I'm not too mad about it. Which we're gonna talk about everybody who ended up in the blocks. So that was a lot of fun. Alrighty, we keep this going though, because after our opening bout, we get into match number 2, which essentially is a no DQ match from what we learned when the match started. But of course, this stems from basically the best of the Super Juniors during that finals is great. We have, of course, ELP El Phantasmo taking on the Silent Jester, is what what they are calling him, in Jake Lee. Like I said this last week, and yes, it was last week when we talked about Best of the Super Juniors, which is insane to say. But like I said last week during our Best of the Super Junior show, I wasn't really like 100% on board with Jake Lee. I needed more of his character to, marinate a little bit. And every time I saw him, I was getting more on board. What happened at Best of the Super Junior made me buy the ticket, and now I'm on the Jake Lee train because this was fantastic. Not only was it a fun match, no DQ match, I mean, ELP always puts over talent really, really well, and he's really good in the ring as well. But this fully sold me on this version of Jake Lee's character. This was really, really fun. Before I continue, though, you guys didn't need to go anywhere for me to miss you all. What's up, fellas? Nick in the chat. Love you, Nicholas. Hi, Nick. We love you. But back to what I was saying. This has sold me on Jake Lee's character. This match in particular, this is what this is great. Not only does it sell me more on Jake Lee's character, this was the genesis of what we would see from United Empire for the entire rest of the night. I was just like, oh, they about to be the big bads of New Japan going into the rest of this year, which was sorely needed after them kind of playing it cool and kind of just chilling like a villain for a good chunk of last year and this year too.
Yeah, while Osprey is away, the mice will play, right? Uh, this match is so much fun. Like, I love ELP. It's so funny, man. There was one point where he did the nipple twist, and then Jake Lee did a raspberry to his chest,
I was just like, yes, bring out the classics.
and then ELP was taking like forever to like load up his boot, and he finally stands up, and Jake Lee hits him with a hella kick, and right into the front chancery. Oh man, what a great little match! Like there was also a point where ELP had set up a statue of chairs, and he'd stop and admire it and add more, and stop and admire it and add more. And well, it's like the Wile E. Coyote effect, right? You set something up, you're going through it. And Jake Lee put ELP through the chair statue, hits him with as I said, the hella beluga kick, and front chancery for the win. What a great little match! Like so
100%.
sometimes the second match they always say like the death match, but like this was great, you know.
And again, I feel like not only was it a fun match, but it was definitely a match that utilized and developed Jake Lee's character and also set the precedence for his faction going into the rest of the night, too, because the United Empire boys are finding themselves all over the different divisions right now. And at the end
Mm.
of tonight, some of them are at the top as they are the champions of said divisions, or they coming in hot trying to get the title for the current champion who are in said division. More on that to come when we get to those. Because right now, though, we gotta talk about this one though.
Wee.
Uh Listen, TMDK can never have a bad match. I'm just saying.
Mm-mm.
But when you pair, okay, to set this up, special tag team match, of course, TMDK being represented by Zack Sabre Jr., the greatest technical wrestler right now. Fight me. And teaming up with somebody who's also been really cool to see more of his growth over the last year or so in um Oiwa, Ryo Oiwa, and they were taking on, of course, Yuya Uemura and Taichi. Uh
Yeah, man, this was perfect, man. What like Taichi and Zach got a huge pop, right? When they finally got in the ring together, and man, they really have something special with Yuya Uemura and Roy Oiwa. I'm cheating and calling him Roy. But but anyways, like one of my favorite little bits of this match was that there was the story of them going back and forth with arm drags. Roy Oiwa and Yuya Uemura, to the point where this after the second time that they got in together, they did like a ring around the rosy with with arm drags, and Roy Oiwa was like trying to just be a jerk and like uh, tap out both Taichi and Uemura with a side headlock, and he's growing a little bit too big for his boots. I love that Taichi is like now he's just like this big brawny dude.
he put on some mass like he's such a stocky dude. It's crazy to see that transformation. And again, we saw it during, again, like going back to our show last week, we saw it during the Best of the Super Juniors finale, like when him and Harley Jackson went at it like a la sumo style. That was insane to watch. But to watch Taichi and Oiwa go at it like that, kind of, in the similar like physicality of everything. Plus, when you put Zach and Yuya just trading technical prowess to it, dude, I'm just saying, even in a loss, like TMDK has not had a bad tag team match or a trios match at all this year or even last year too. Like, and
Yeah,
like, and then
and TMDK was all over this show too.
exactly, it is insane. We're gonna talk about it when we get to our junior heavyweight championship match because I was laughing, but I also was just like, dang, New Japan. You gonna have Kosei Fujita do commentary on this, looking sad? Like, I was like, yo, that is so foul, but I'm here for the drama. because but he was there for a reason. We're gonna get to that when we get to that match though, because I was like, ooh, it's about to get on and popping in the junior heavyweight division.
Oh man, that's gonna rule.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about it. But Yuya and Taichi pick up the victory over TMTK. It seems like though they are not done, so this mic is going to continue into the G1, which is going to be really fun to watch. But speaking of junior heavyweights, though, oh my gosh. So my only complaint is that this was kind of a short match, but I understand why. Because we just got Mystico back for a couple weeks of being out on injury, so we don't need him or Despy to be injured. But in a special singles showcase match, we have our IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions going up against each other. So this is El Desperado versus CMLL Poster Boy, Golden Boy, uh, El Rey de Plata y Oro, Místico. Again, my only complaint, this was a short match, but for what I got though, uh,
Oh, indeed. You know this ruled, man. One of my favorite things was Mystico coming out to the public domain music that's just layered on top of the other music, so you can still sort of hear the lyrics. And like, uh,
the copyright in Japan is insane. Like, even in Stardom, for example, one of the Sendai girls, Chi-Chi, like she comes out to Barbie Girl, they have to put that on mute.
Like, oh yeah, definitely.
Japan does not play when it comes to copyright.
It's sort of the same way with Noah, because like like this, they'll be like introducing something and there's just cricket, not even cricket, no audio, But one thing I love about Mystico is that he does that like tope suicida where it's like a head torpedo. Like, man, that thing looks like he's just gonna dump on his head every single time, And as you said, this one was a short one because Mystico had just gotten back from the foot injury, which ended up playing into the finish with the stretched muffler that El Desperado has been doing, and Despy is still sporting all of those scars from Las Vegas.
I'm just saying it right now. When you get into a war with Jun Kasai, I'm like, do you really heal?
Maybe physically, but even that is going to take a while.
Yes. But that match was insane, but also was baller.
Yeah. After you.
I was just gonna say, I was smiling during this match as somebody who covers CMLL on a weekly basis. Like, it's, again, like we talked about offline, like summer season's my favorite season when it comes to wrestling because of how much all these international companies, especially in New Japan, CMLL, AEW, and now MLW too. Is we have a working relationship with New Japan, and they have now a working relationship with Stardom too. So their girls are coming over very soon. Like Rena is about to pop up in MLW, and somehow they managed to get Saya Kamitani to come on over too. I'm like, uh her versus Shotzi. Give it to me. No.
Oh wow, didn't even think about that. Yes, please.
So good. Hey, more women in the featherweight division, even if it's for like visiting, I am okay with it too. Give Shotzi some reps. And Shotzi also been traveling. She was part of the MLW versus CMLL show back in May. And so have her fight some of the Stardom girls. Like, yes, working relationships, we love it. Anyways, but I love this because again, I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that these two were tag team champs together here in New Japan. I was just like, oh man, but it's gonna be so much fun though. Please let these two hold these championships until Tag League. I need them to be champs in Tag League.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't even know if they have any junior tags right now besides you two. You know?
I mean, that's fair. But man, this was a really fun showcase. Again, Desperado wins against Mystico, but they are still the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And so, really fun stuff. Alrighty, Benny, strap in because from here on out, we are talking about every single championship match. So every match that we are going to talk about from here on out is for a title. This is going to get insane. So let's start with this first one, which is for the never open weight championship. The challenger, Aaron Wolf, taking on the champion, Mr. Ren Narita of the House of Torture, or HOT for short. I was entertained with this match. I was entertained. I expected House of Torture shenanigans throughout the night, and this definitely showed here and our junior heavyweight championship match. Um, I said this before. Aaron Wolf has needed to grow on me, and I think the way that he came into the company is not entirely his fault of how he was being presented because he is a judo champion, and so he has the martial arts background. But a lot of New Japan faithful were like, what is he doing here? Why is he getting pushed so fast? Why is he having these high profile? Like, how come he skipped the line essentially? And then when he shaved his head, put on them young boy shorts, and is continuing to wrestle in the young boys, I was like, all right, Aaron, let's see what you can do. Was this a barn burner of a match? Not really, though I did enjoy this match for what it was. And it was really fun to see Aaron Wolf like fight on the House of Torture and their shenanigans in this match, and be one of the few times where he actually gets over the House of Torture shenanigans and is able to beat them at their own game because Aaron Wolf is now your two-time never open weight champion.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't have much to add on this one. You pretty much covered it. I really like the direction of Aaron Wolf that they're taking. The never open weight title, from what I understand in New Japan, is sort of like the future of New Japan. So it makes sense that he and Bolton have really been sort of passing this one back and forth all year, and in between Ren and stuff as well, but and Ishii. But I digress. You know, this one was fun. Like as I said before, I don't really mind House of Torture antics. I know I'm crazy and I'm very much in the minority here, but I'm here for a show, buddy. Like, and that's just part of the show.
House of Torture is always going to entertain me. And like I said, sometimes the shenanigans people can be a little too much for my taste, but I do. And again, their shenanigans here at Dominion definitely served its purpose because it catapulted into them trying their shenanigans, but the baby faces were able to rally against it and come out on top at the end of it. And this is not the only story like that happens this evening with House of Torture doing their shenanigans, but the babyface rallies back and ends up coming out on top at the end, despite all the stuff that happens. But before we get there, though, Lord help us, like, uh, I
Yeah,
said this
this
about
is
yeah. Oh, this was, as JR would say, this was a slobber knocker. Holy Toledo!
yeah. I was just
Like,
gonna say that this is definitely gonna go on the match of the year list.
so
End of the year match.
you're right. Exactly. So I want to set this up before really quickly, and then we can gush
Hmm.
about it. So this is for
Yeah.
the IWGP Tag Team Champions. So these are the main tag team championships for like your regular and heavier division. So of course, this is the champs, the Knockout Bros, which of course is Mr. Yuto Ice and Oscar, taking on the United Empire boys of Hinare and Great Okan. Oh my goodness, these boys balled so hard. Like this, they. I said this about TMDK, right? Of them not having a bad match. I was just like, I've been really enjoying every title defense that Knockout Bros have had this year since becoming, like, even towards the end of last year when they became champs. Like, they haven't had a bad title defense, and this was insane to watch because Henare and Great Okan matched their energy, and going blow for blow and insane, like hard hitting for hard hitting. This, they all felt it in the morning and days to come after. Like they're gonna feel this all this week. This was insane.
It's so good, you know. And one thing I'm happy about is that this is a belt that United Empire never lost because of Hanare's injury. So it's nice to see them back in the hunt and as champs again. And this also prolongs this feud, which is nice, you know, because we're. I was actually sort of wondering, like, before this match, I was like, if they beat them here, where do we go? You know, but United Empire won, and uh, the feud continues. One thing I really like about Hinare and Okan right now, the greatest of Okans, is that they're champs. They're never open weight 6-man champs, and then now the heavyweight tag team champs.
For reals.
Oh, and they made Oscar look like a monster in this one.
They sold so well for Oscar, and I was waiting for his breakout moment in this match, and they definitely put him over. Like, again, even though the Knockout Bros lost this match, they still look strong in this. And then because the UE boys know how much of a threat that the Knockout Bros are, they beat them up after the match too. Like UE swarmed, the United Empire swarmed and laid them all out. I was like, they know, they all know.
Uh,
Man,
uh, One of my favorite parts in this was when uh Yuto Ice like headbutted Hanare and then just instantly regretted it.
you never headbutt a Samoan. I tell
No.
people this all the time, as and I can confirm this because we have a Samoan in our host rotation. Andrew is part Samoan, and you do not headbutt a Samoan. You gonna feel it for weeks. Oh my goodness. But man, this match rolled. We have new tag champs in the United Empire boys, Hinare and Great Okan. And like you said, Benny, they are also the 6-man neverweight champions as well with Will Ospreay. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic moving forward. But we go from one crazy and fun match into another fun one too. Um, I have seen a lot of people talk about this one, and it split down. I have seen 50-50 of people how they feel about who ended up winning this match. So we have the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. And of course, this is Andrade El Idolo, Mr. How You Know, defending the title against Shooter himself, Mr. Shota Umino, and one half of the New Progress Tag Team Champions, Mr. Drilla Maloney. That crowd was so hot for Drilla. I was like, yo, that's kind of really cool to see. Like the way that they were chanting for Drilla this entire match was so much fun, and I love that for Drilla, man. Because at first I wasn't too high on him like a couple years ago, but then I was like, all right, Drilla, you cool. I like you. You fantastic. You're great. And they made it an effort because the story going into this is that Drilla and Shota, for as long as they've been in this company, have never held singles gold in this company. And I'm like, excuse me? I was just like, oh, bet. So somebody's got to win, right? I'm not going to lie. I was expecting Andrade to retain because I was like, just let him have it for a little bit. That was not the case. But this was a really fun triple threat. And usually I'm not the biggest fan of triple threats if we don't need to. But when you have Andrade, Shota, and Drilla in here, and they all bring different things to the table, I really love this match. Now, Benny, I want your thoughts on the match itself, and then we're going to talk about everything that happened afterward and what I've seen of the discourse of who won this match on the internet.
Yeah. First off, Shota has been in the gym. I noticed it in this match because Andrade and Drilla, like they're known for their physiques, right? I am not. I know I shouldn't be talking about that, but what I'm saying is that he's been lifted. Like he bulked up. Looks good. And what was it? Andrade hitting the that fake out moonsault where he lands on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he did it 3/4 of the way in this one. Like he might as well have been in the other corner. Like it was insane. And then there was that elbow, like the Judas effect elbow that Andrade likes to hit, where like he like kicks him first, but then spins around and hits him with the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Like he goes to hit Drilla with it, and Drilla gets out the way of the kick,
Right.
but the elbow still lands on Shota, which was fantastic.
It was
Just
Andrade. I feel like it. Here's the thing, right? So if Andrade keeps up his momentum and just continues to be, well, I mean, he's always going to be amazing. That's never in a question. But if he checks the other boxes that I'm looking for, I think so far Andrade is probably one of my favorites that I've seen in 2026, which is really hard because there's a lot of great wrestlers right there. But I'm like, I don't know, man. There's something about Andrade. Just seeing this, quote unquote, just to see the fire coming out of him and just like, he is so like, I know this is New Japan, but we're gonna talk about it more tomorrow. But he is so over with the AEW crowd. Like babyface Andrade is about to take over this world. And to me, he never has a bad match. Like he has yet to have a bad match, in my opinion, this year, and it's insane. And that's saying something because this was also another example. He doesn't have a bad match, and look at the two opponents he was up against. This was also their best showcase, in my personal opinion, too. This was an outstanding showcase from all three of them. It was
definitely.
awesome. Now, let's talk about this because I don't agree with what is happening on the internet. But Shota Umino finally gets his first singles gold or any gold in New Japan since beginning in this company. And I, for one, am happy for Shota because I feel like he has done the work to get back into the quote unquote good graces with the New Japan crowd over the last year and a half or so. Um, Now, I want to talk about the discourse, and then we'll talk about what happened after the match because there's a lot of division. Some people are really happy to see, New Japan put a title onto Shota, which I love. Now, some other people seem to disagree and say that Shota shouldn't have won this match. And on top of that, well, that was the nicer words. Then I saw some extreme cases where people were basically saying that Ghetto could not book the show to save his life, and this is on the level of some TKO Triple H type mess. And I was just like, no, like it is not that bad, you guys. And I'm in the camp of I am happy for Shota. I think he's worked hard and he's gotten back into the good graces of the fans in New Japan. Why not let him have this? And also, when we get into it, it sets up something interesting because now we might get some cross promotional because Shota is going to have some interesting enemies going forward, especially when he was part of a certain little faction that we all thought he was still a part of, but no more. But Betty, I want to hear your thoughts about like how do you feel about Shota winning the title? Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on this whole entire thing?
I mean, I'm for it, because I think Shota, regardless of what us Western fans believe, is really open. He's really popular with the ladies over in Japan. You just listen to that crowd when he comes out, and they ain't booking for us. So that's the way I feel about most New Japan things. People get
Agreed.
angry about stuff that happens in New Japan. It's like, dude, you're you're an add-on, bud. like,
Like, why not? Shota, I feel again, Shota has put in the work, so he deserves to,
mm,
hold title. And it's not like he's IWGP champion. I'm still holding my breath that maybe he could possibly win the G1 to get there. But the global championship is a good start for Shota because then he can defend it against other folks.
yeah,
Now, let's talk about this because Gabe, I love you dearly, but you are just a can of cashews just short of a whole bin. Like, so after the match, Shota is celebrating in the ring, and then we get a hooded individual come in and start attacking Shota. It is revealed to be Gabe Kidd, who has been cleared and he is no longer injured with his shoulder. And I'm like, yes. And then he cut this promo. I'm like, oh, oh no. Gabe, I love you, but I feel we were still. I will put this way. I feel we were still on the pain meds just a tiny bit. But I love it. I love when Gabe Kidd is just a psychopath, and I love him. But he declares war on Shota and New Japan, and he's really repping that AEWs are the best wrestle. But the most interesting thing that came out of this for me, yeah, right.
sorry.
The most interesting thing that came out of this for me, though, is that Gabe told Shota that that was a message sent from the Death Riders. So it's like we're finally revisiting because remember, like 2 years ago, Moxley like unofficially like called Shota the future and basically made him a John Moxley young boy. But now the Moxley's like, oh, Death Riders, I need you to send a message. So Gabe Kid sent a message. And I'm like, are we about to get Moxley versus Shota? Because I'm here for that match.
Yeah, I'm here for that too. That would be title versus title, um, which is crazy. But I'm just thinking like everybody got a title. So the old saying like, why is there so many titles? Well, um, title belts are cool. I don't know. But I digress. Uh, yeah, this was a weird promo. I wasn't. I'm not. I'm still not 100% on Gabe, even though I've been watching him for a while. I don't know if this character is sticking for me because they
I
already
like.
said that they weren't
You're right.
mercenaries. Like the dogs are not associated with the Death Riders in
Drilla
AEW.
was Drilla was
And
so you could see he was so uncomfortable. He's like, "Dang, I'm really in this rock in a hard place." He's like, "Gabe's my boy, but we're not about that life right now."
yeah,
Here, this is what I'll say. I think Gabe as a wrestler is really fun to watch because he can also hit hard, and that's fantastic. I just need him right now. I just don't need him to talk. Like we're okay.
Well, that's the thing is that like that's like half of his personality is like he's sort
Right,
of like you can tell that he's been watching his Kevin Steen videos. You know,
bro. It is like it is 0 to 100. There is no nuance to Gabe Kidd promos. He is just all in way too quickly.
yeah. Uh, I get it. If that's what everybody's here, that's if that's what everybody likes, that's what everybody likes. It's just up for me right now.
Right. So we're gonna see how that shapes up. And again, will this be something for Forbidden Door? We don't know. But I'm looking forward to anything because now we got stories across a bunch of promotions, including New Japan, which is great. But congratulations to Shota Umino. He is the IWGP Global Champion. We'd love to see it. And yeah, I was also reminded, I was like, oh yeah, Andrade is technically a United Empire boy. Fantastic stuff. You shake your head.
Make it make sense. Make it make
Also,
sense. You
he is
know.
too. He's too. Even right now in Japan, he is too babyface for the way that United Empire is going forward right now. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like Andy's a part of the Don Callis family.
I'm gonna be so
Like,
for real. If we're gonna keep Andrade as a babyface, I would put him with Unbound. You know what? He fits better with Unbound Company. I'm not even gonna lie. Like
mm,
Unbound Company, or you know what? I would put him in Unbound Company or the remnants of Just Five Guys, or even,
that's the thing.
you,
Or
or even Hontai. I would put him with Hontai
mm,
too, honestly.
yeah, Hunter would be pretty funny because he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Um, or like put him in the conglomeration. Why not? Right?
Listen, if we can pull Takeshita into the conglomeration, we can pull Andrade. Let's make the whole international boys in the conglomeration.
Absolutely.
Listen, I would buy that immediately. Oh man, but yeah, we gonna see what happens for Shota and Gabe and everybody in between. But we got to keep this moving though, because we got 2 more matches to talk about. Oh my god! I was like, our baby boy Yo did it, Betty. He finally did it.
He did, and he's the 100th,
Yep,
100th uh, junior
junior
uh,
heavyweight
champion.
champion. Like, so of course, this is for the semi-main event. Is for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Doki finally being forced to defend his title after being missing for a good chunk of spring. Because he's like, I'm not defending this. Get out of my face about that. And of course, he's taking on this year's Best of the Super Junior winner, Mr. Yo, who defeated Kosei Fujita, who was looked like a sad boy forced to do commentary during this match. I was just like, that is so foul. That is so foul, New Japan, but I'm here for it. Um, I really love that Yo has taken his past encounters with the House of Torture shenanigans and he turned it on their heads. And he was the other story to come out of this evening where Babyface took the House of Torture shenanigans, turned them on their head, and came out on top. But outside of the shenanigans, man, Doki and Yo put on a really great match. Like, holy crap. This is why I love the Junior Heavyweight Championship. I know it's been kind of quote unquote cursed over the last year or two because like Doki got injured, Despy got injured. Like, we really didn't defend it too much, but this brought it back to why I love the junior heavyweight division in New Japan, and our baby boy Yo did it.
Yeah, this was so fantastic. I love the double nod buster. Like halfway through the match, and there was like a wicked nasty dragon screw reversal. After like a great series of tit for tat, And this was, man, this is the legacy of maybe not, because they're pretty much around the same time. Never mind. But I like that, Watto came out, and after the show had come out a few minutes earlier. So we got run-ins, we got everything in between, and what what a silly fun match. Like, man, if you would have told me this was a Young Bucks match, I wouldn't have blinked.
For reals. But you are absolutely correct. Yo is the 100th IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Now, after this match, though, has me excited because the show doesn't even get a moment's reprieve because everybody, their mother come out because they want next at that championship. So we got, of course, Yo's rival forever just because of naming conventions, Show. Show wants a shot at it. Kosei Fujita wants a shot at it. Francesca Akira wants it. Master Watto comes out. And so Show gets on, no, not Show. Yo gets on the mic and he basically says, "Oh, all four of you want to challenge this? Bet I'm down. Let's do this. We're gonna have a four-way match, a fatal four-way to determine who is gonna fight me for this title." So it is officially announced. Leading into the G1 climax, we are going to get a fatal four-way number one contenders match with Kosei Fujita, Sho, Francesca Akira, and Master Watto, and the winner will go on to face Yo for the title on the road to new G1 climax. And I'm like, yes, yes.
Yeah, sign me up for that. That's gonna be great.
Jesus.
I love it when like Watto is like Master Watto is like holding up the belt and like Fujita's face, and Yo comes over and goes, "Hey, give me my belt."
Yo has come a long way with his gimmick. Like, I remember the days when he was in his schoolboy like tracksuit uniform, just running down the ramp barefoot into like the Dontaku like rumble matches that they have for Wrestle Kingdom, and now to see where he's at, I'm just like, yes. Also, Yo, where can I get that jacket from? Like, honestly, like that his ring gear for this match was sick.
Seriously.
So good. Alrighty, Betty. All we have left now is our main event. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, the challenger Yota Tsuji taking on the champion, make way for the prince, Mr. Callum Newman. So I think this is the only match that I'm still on the fence about, not in ring wise, because in ring wise was a lot of fun. I haven't found anything because it looked like the ending kind of came out of nowhere, and I heard that Callum may have gotten hurt, which I hope is not the case, but I haven't found anything to confirm that he actually sustained an injury in here. So if he did get hurt or they wanted to stop the match because something might have happened, um I will be okay with that. I'm still on the fence about this because on the one hand, the match was really good, and I'm not upset that Toyota is our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But on the other side of it, I'm a little bummed out for Callum because I feel like we never really. I'm not asking him to have a super long title reign, but I feel like he didn't even get a shot to do too much of anything and to see where it goes for him. So I don't know, Benny. Maybe you can help me out make a decision here because I'm torn because I'm not mad at the results, but I'm also bummed for Callum. I love Yota, but I'm bummed for Callum. So maybe you can help me out. I want to hear your thoughts. How do we feel about, well, the match itself? And then I want to hear your thoughts about Yota being the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion again.
Well, let's start with that answer first. How I feel about Yoda being champion. I'm actually okay with it because you don't need a. This is what I've been trying to say online lately, but text can only go so far, right? Like it doesn't really matter uh, how long you hold the belt, right? It's that you held the belt and what you did with it, right? And what they did do with it was plant some seeds for the direction of United Empire, and uh, it gives it back to Suji, who's on this warpath against AEW, which was just really really cool. I sort of dig it. This is going to be a really deep cut, but it's sort of like New Japan versus WFI, UWFI from the '80s, which uh, would later on go to on to inspire the NWO kind of thing. But like it's just two warring factions, two warring companies, and it's gonna all come to a head. Hopefully, either at Forbidden Door or what? Hopefully it's Forbidden Door. But there was one thing I really liked about this match, right? Like, like it really showed that how Callum Newman has really stepped up to the plate in this role and really made a name for himself in the heavyweight division, right? And I find it interesting that the only time Osprey wasn't there, he lost the belt. And what was it like? There was like a stomp on the apron that like put Suji through a Japanese table. I don't know how that happened, but
those
it was
Japanese
crazy
tables,
looking.
man. This Japanese table.
Really, like we got like a super gene blaster for the win. Like there was like at least 2 or 3 gene blasters right at the end.
It was insane. Okay, I think you made me feel a little bit better because with that mindset going in, and also because Callum is in the G1 this year too, there is multiple opportunities to get people into the mix for this title, man. Um, but yeah, I will say though, this was a really fun main event, and that those Gene Blasters, man, for the win. Holy Toledo. Like
Mm.
it was insane. But yeah, Yota Tsuji is our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I also will say, just as a small little note, I really did like his entrance video that showed like the past champions
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I was like, because Yota really is about, the lineage and the heritage of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and the reference that it brings to the company, which I love. And then when you pair it right now against Callum, who treats it as an object, like he threw that thing on the ground to begin with. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh. I was like, Yota is not going. So if that's what we keep up with between these two going into the summer and into the fall, I am here for it. But that brings us to the end of our Dominion post show. But don't touch that dial because, like I said, we have lots of news to talk about, right? So, the first thing that we are going to talk about is during this show, they told us, most of the participants of who are and what blocks they are in for the G1 climax, which makes me super excited. So let's talk about it really quickly, right? So we have pretty much for each block, we have 8 of the 10 spots filled out. And there were some things that happened here in Dominion that set certain people up. Like they announced the blocks halfway through the show, and then they announced that the winners of the tag team championship match for the heavyweight titles would be the team that goes into the G1. So we have pretty much almost all our blocks set up, and we got some playoff matches that are going to be happening in the next 2 weeks as well. But to go over what we have so far, so we for A block of the G1 this year, we have Konosuke Takeshita, Yota Tsuji, Sonata, Shingo Takagi, Jake Lee, Bolton Oleg, Hiroki Goto, and Great Khan. So those are the 8 out of the 10 for A block so far. I was like, yo, Jake, let's go. And yes, I'm excited to see Bolton because I thought Bolton had a really good G1 last year as well. So
Definitely.
I love A block. This is going to be like really fun. I put A block as these are going to be your heavy hitters because then when we get to B block, these are the young guns, in my personal opinion, and some very unexpected names. So in B block, we have Callum Newman, Zack Sabre Jr., Shota Umino, Yuya Uemura, Ren Narita, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, and Hanare. I'm like, Hanare about to destroy people. But the amount of like younger people and most of our gaijins are all in B block, which is really fun. I'm not gonna lie. Zach versus Yuya is gonna be fantastic. And it continues that, right? So we have 2 spots left in each block, and so we have some playoff matches that will determine the last 2 spots. So in these playoff matches to determine which 4 will be moving on to the G1, we have Taichi versus Yuto Ice. So I'm like, why we got to pick between the 2 of them? Can they both go in? Like, I don't know. I listen, I love Yuto, but after everything we see, I'm kind of rooting for Taichi here for this one. I want to see Taichi make the G1 and put him in B block because I need Taichi versus Zack Sabre Jr. round 2.
Yes.
Like, so there's that match. Then we also have Yoshihashi versus Aaron Wolf. And Aaron, I love you, but I got to root for Yoshihashi, man. Like, Yoshihashi, and we need Bishamon in this tournament. Like, we need Bishamon in the G1. So that is another playoff match. Then we have ELP, so El Phantasmo versus Ryohei Oiwa. I'm rooting for Oiwa to make the G1 this year and put him in B block so we can continue him and Yuya, and just put Taichi and Oiwa in B block so we can continue to have Yuya, Zach, Oiwa, and Taichi just feuding with each other in that block. Listen, I'm here for that. And then in the final playoff match, we have Oscar versus Yujiro Takahashi. I'm rooting for Oscar. I'm like, I don't know. But here's the thing. I want to see both Knockout Bros in the G1, but you put Yuto Ice and Taichi against each other. And why we got pick fakes? I don't understand. But those are the playoff matches that are going to be happening in the next 2 weeks to see who fills out the last 4 spots of the G1.
I hope Oscar wins because I'd like to see what he does in a singles match.
Yeah, so based on the playoff matches, for me personally, I want to see Taichi, Yoshihashi, Oiwa, and Oscar make it into the G1.
Yeah, same.
So, but I'm excited. I think the G1's going to be good. Now, here's hoping that Gabe Kidd doesn't have an injury like last year and forfeits all his matches. That was such a bummer last year. Gabe Kidd got hurt and he had to forfeit all his matches last year.
Well, don't put him in the main event on the night one. Like, oh, jeez.
I was like, ooh, child, that is oof, big oof. Alrighty, but that is not all the news I have because again, New Japan's gonna be all over the place over the next 2 weeks, right? So that was G1 happening, and opening night for the G1 this year is happening in the States in Chicago, Illinois. So that is awesome that the opening night for the G1 is going to be happening on the States. So shout out to everybody in Chicago who's going to be watching. It's going to be good, and I'm excited for y'all. But
definitely,
New Japan and Stardom are going to be busy, and CMLL are going to be busy companies for the next 2 weeks. Again, we got Forbidden Door coming up here really shortly. We got Global War Cincinnati between CMLL, Stardom, and ROH happening this week, which is going to be interesting to watch. But this Friday, because it is New Japan related, New Japan and CMLL are having their annual Fantastica Mania Mexico show this Friday in Arena, Mexico. And it will air on the CMLL YouTube channel. So you gotta pay for a subscription to watch it live. But I will be sending the information to Benny so he can watch it at his leisure. Because Fantastica Mania is one of my favorite shows over the summer for CMLL, and it's the kickstart to everything. Because this is where all these companies come down to Mexico, and we get to see everything for Fantastica Mania to Grand Slam Mexico, which is going to be a lot of fun. But the reason I bring this up is that CMLL has announced all the matches that will be happening this Friday at Fantastica Mania Mexico. So, to begin, we have opening the show, we have CMLL stars Valiente Jr., who is in the Best of the Super Juniors this year, teaming up with his Hermanos de Espacio brothers, Max Star and Futuro, and they'll be taking on CMLL's Utani, Okamura, and Shoma Kato. So Shoma has been kind of popping in here, which is really fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Then in a tag team match, you have Otimo Guerrero and Gran Guerrero taking on Konosuke Takeshita and Echiseto, which is very interesting because, Don Callis family drama and shenanigans, but, it's different when we go to Mexico a little bit. So that's going to be fun. Then we are getting Atlantis Jr. versus El Phantasmo in a kind of like showcase junior heavyweight match. So that's going to be fun. Then this is where things get fun. So I misspoke earlier in the show. We have Tiger Mask 4's Mexico retirement match this Friday. And it's a trios match of Blue Panther, Mystico, and Tiger Mask teaming up to take on Averno, Black Tiger, and Volador Jr. So that should be a really good match.
Oh, I'm here for that. Go,
100%.
go, Tiger.
Exactly. So then after that, we have a 6-person tag team match, which I'm excited because this match is about to go ham and we're about to see bodies flying because we are getting CMLL's Templario, Máscara Dorada, and Neon taking on Unbound Company in the form of Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Titan. So I'm like, give me all the flying people. Give me all the flying people right now.
Yeah, that flippy shit.
Then in the semi-main event, this is for the CMLL Japan Championship match. So the champion right now is CMLL star India Sui, and she will be taking on Stardom's Rena. And I'm like, Rena! I'm so excited to see Rena in Mexico. Oh my goodness. The runner-up to this year's Stardom Cinderella tournament and just an amazing wrestler anyways. She's fantastic. This match is going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And then in the main event, the CMLL World Tag Team Championships are on the line as our champs, Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja, take on Sonata and Dick Togo. Listen, this version of Sonata in Mexico is about to be on and popping. I am so ready to see what kind of shenanigans and what we wear, Sonata.
Yeah, and you always gotta respect the Dick to go. So, oh man, I kid around, but Dick Togo is a great wrestler, and he has been for many years.
It's really nice
At
to
least
see
30.
him. Yeah. Honestly, listen, here's the thing. Dick Togo, again, CMLL and New Japan have had this relationship forever where they would send, each company would send some of their stars to do excursions in Mexico or in Japan. And there are some stars who are contracted to both, like Titan is in CMLL and in New Japan as well. And we've seen other folks like Despy has come down like some occasions. It's going to be a fun show this Friday, and that is going to be airing live on the CMLL channel on YouTube. But you watch it live, you have to buy a subscription, but that is okay because CMLL is great. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Templario Mascara Dorada and Neon versus Robbie X, Taiji, and Teton match the most. I'm like, yes, give me all the flippy boys. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, that has been Dominion. Me and Penny got to get up on out of here. We're going to rest for like 10, 15 minutes and then we'll be back at it again because we're going to take a charter flight from Japan to the UK and we are going to talk about some Eve 150, baby. So that is what's happening tonight. And then the rest of this week is business as usual. AEW tomorrow, NXT and CMLL on Wednesday, and then TNA on Friday. We are inching ever so closer to the summer season kicking off with some fun stuff, but we're going to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in from all of us here to BC WrestlePod to you at home. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more important than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll see you in about 15 minutes for Eve 150, but until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.